Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, November 10th, 2020 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. We'll start off with a roll call.
Okay, so we have Sean Peterson, John Meyer, Jared Fournier, Bill Martell.
Kathy Harris.
Let's see, Kathy Harris. And I believe that is it. Are there any other commission members I do not see? Okay, those are our members for the moment.
Okay, since Carla's not here, let's see. I think Bill's an alternate. We point Bill for Carla. If I'm mistaken, please let me know.
Do we have any others?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need two
Jared.
others. So Jared can be appointed
And Kathy can be appointed.
and Kathy can also be
Because
appointed
we have Roz and Lindsay.
in place of Roz and Lindsay.
Okay, let's do that then. So there'll be
All
full
right.
members for tonight's meeting. All right, let's get started with a public hearing. First item is Z 2020-1832, which is a continuation of the Riley Landscaping LLC, requesting a planned development district for residential and commercial uses on property at 1271 Norwich Road, Plainfield, map 5, block 4, lot 45, RA 60 zoning district. Is anyone here to speak for the applicant?
Yes, I am. My name is Paul Archer with Archer Surveying, representing Riley Rice, dealing with the 1271 Norwich Road, Route 12. We were before you last month, and there was a couple concerns. One of the main concerns, I believe, that you saw was the concrete pad in the rear of the building that was going to be poured around the existing well. We have since then revised the plan to show that we rotated the concrete pad, so it is now no longer so it's no longer near the well. And the other concern that Ryan had was we added some more arborvitaes, white pines in front of the property here to basically to not necessarily hide, but to shade the building from the road. And I think those were the only two outstanding points that we had that were in questions from last month's meeting. So if anybody had anything else, I'd be more than see if I was able to answer any of the questions.
Are there any questions from the public for Mr. Archer? Any comments from staff?
All comments have now been addressed.
Okay, any comments or questions from commission members?
Have we gotten any update from DOT?
I can answer that. So we do have a letter that was sent out to DOT at the end of July, and DOT has not responded to it, so I'm assuming they have no issues. However, I do suggest a condition of approval that we do get some sort of confirmation from DOT prior to a use compliance permit being issued. So I can reach out to DOT, or they can reach out to DOT and just get verbal confirmation.
Okay.
And again, I would also like to help that the letter that was sent to DOT is we're not asking DOT for permission to do anything. All we're doing is notifying DOT as to what is going on. We're not asking them for a curb cut. We're not asking them to widen anything. We're not asking them to do anything in the state right of way. All we're basically doing is notifying them to show them a plan as to what is going on. So I can reach out to them and see if he could send me an email just basically stating that he got the plan and then he's reviewed the plan.
As it is a minor detail that can be cleared up later, I do not see having to extend this another month just for that reason.
Any comments from commission members on that? Okay, if there's nothing else, then I would entertain a motion on this application to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Seconded? Was that Jared that seconded?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the public hearing is closed.
Can I just cut in for 1 second to acknowledge that Lindsay Joslin has now joined the meeting, so she's a seated member, correct?
Right, so
Okay.
who will you then take over?
So we need, she is a seated member, so one of the alternates must come down.
Kathy was seated for Lindsay, so she'd be the one that would have to step down.
Okay,
Okay, that sounds fine. All right, well, let's proceed on to the next application. That is Z 2020-1886 of Ellis Sage and Jeff Bellavance, requesting a 2-lot re-subdivision for construction of 2 single-family houses on property located on Mortimer Road, Moosup, map 30, block 109, lot 23, RA 60 zoning district. Do we have someone here to speak for the applicant?
Yes, John, that's me, Paul Archer with Archer Surveying, representing both Ellis and Jeff and John Bellavance. There's another one that we presented it to you last month, and there was a couple outstanding issues that I think since we've in turn have corrected. One of them was, we'll start with the simple one. One of them was somebody had said that there was another right-of-way that was entering onto this property. And if you look at, I don't know, Ryan, if you can put the map up, but we have gone ahead and indicated the subject. Sorry?
I'm working on it.
Okay,
I
so
gotta grab the other one.
we did modify the plan that basically shows that there is another piece of property basically to the west that has rights to get to the property. There isn't a known explicit right-of-way with the meets and bounds on it. It's just a piece of property has rights to cross this, so it doesn't have rights. So we are still only proposing 2 lots on 72 acres. Now, the other thing that was brought to our attention, and Marianne has helped us a lot, is
Oh, can I pause you for a second?
Sure.
Which page has it? I can't remember. Which sheet?
you could, if you went to
Right,
sheet
Paul?
sheet 2, Ryan, the existing condition plan would show it on it.
All right, let me bring that up.
Is it the cart path you're talking about?
Yes, the cart path, correct.
Okay,
You could see it right there.
so this is the note.
Yep,
This is the cart path coming in. This is Moosup Pond Road right here. Lots off of Moosup Pond Road coming into the property. And the cart path comes back and goes into the adjacent parcel back here.
that's correct. So then, the other thing that was brought to our attention was that we sent in a letter basically asking for the when you have, I guess your regulations basically say if you have 5 lots or 15 acres, we must apply for a conservation subdivision, or we have to get a waiver of the conservation subdivision. So at one point, we sat down with Marianne and Ryan, and we've submitted a letter requesting a modification that we don't apply for a conservation subdivision. We also at the point submitted a yield plan to show you that if we wanted to, that this 72 acres, we could actually put an 800-foot road in, and we could get 10 lots off of this 800-foot road. For that would be the yield plan if we were proposing a conservation subdivision, which we would in turn then be able to come in and get 10 smaller lots and all that. But at this point, we are choosing just to get a waiver on not doing a conservation subdivision, to do a conventional subdivision, and it's only going to house 2 lots, because according to your regulations, we are only allowed 2 lots off a 40-foot access strip in this. So as you can see, that's all we're proposing is 2 lots with a 40-foot access strip coming into the 2 lots. So we are looking for a waiver of the conservation subdivision. The other note, that bullet that we had, was the open space fee, which we in turn, we went in front of your Conservation Commission, and they were given, I don't know if Marianne, if we actually got letters from them or not, but they were willing to accept the fee in lieu of open space instead of dedicated land.
Yeah, we did not get a letter from the Conservation Commission, but it is noted in their minutes from their meeting last month that it's appropriate in this case.
Thank you. So I've also submitted, we've also then in turn, we submitted an appraisal on the property of the land, how it exists now. And we also submitted what we are proposing as a fee in lieu of open space. The state of Connecticut allows the towns to get up to 10% of the appraised value of the land prior to development. Our appraised value on this piece of property came in at $100,000. But what we're proposing is we would like the commission to be lenient on us due to the fact that this is a re-subdivision. And if back when the subdivision was done, if they had taken the open space fee back when they were supposed to take it, we wouldn't be at this point where we would be required, or my clients would be required, to pay this open space fee. And if you did it back at the time when it was, at the time when the subdivision was done, I believe the open space fee at that point was $400. So what we are proposing is 3% instead of you're allowed to go up to 10%. We are asking for leniency of 3%, which would be $3,000 divided by the 2 lots. So it would be $1,500 per lot at the time that each lot is transferred. So, and if you would look at the way that we are proposing this development, you would also see that the majority of the land, 50% of the land as it sits right now, is going to be pretty much unused land. So we would ask for the commission to give us a little leniency and help us out due to the fact that we don't feel that this is our fault, that this open space fee is coming at us. And I believe those were really the only 2 outstanding questions. We have NDDH approval, we have wetlands approval, and we were in front of you, and I think that was the only 2 outstanding issues that I know of to go forth.
Are there any comments from the public on this application? Hearing none, are there any comments from the commission on this application, including the proposed reduction of the open space fee and the exemption from the conservation subdivision requirements.
I was just curious if the staff has anything to say about the NPO.
If I may, Mary Ann Chinati, Town Planner. In my updated report on agenda items sent out to members yesterday, I did speak to that particular question, and I suggested, as opposed to the 3%, a 5% fee in lieu of, or $5,000, because I do agree with the applicant that it's unfortunate that the open space issue, quote unquote, wasn't addressed sooner. The property's been through numerous divisions. It's been through a free split, it's been through a subdivision, it's been through a resub, it's been through another resub, and now it's with another resub. And this is the first time that's been picked up on. And I think that a 5% fee in lieu of open space, which is a $5,000 fee, $25,000 per lot, would be appropriate in this case. And the commission also has the authority to grant the applicant's request for an exception to the conservation subdivision requirement, which I also believe that should be approved. But I did proviso that with, as long as a restriction is placed on the deeds, that neither lot may be further divided.
Any comments from commission members on this?
I'm curious about the applicant, how they feel about that note being put on that they can't be divided again.
I know we got Mr. Bellavance is listening to, and I've talked to Ellis about this. We have absolutely no problem going with the 5% instead of the 3%. We would agree to that. And I also believe that the two people that are buying this have no desire to split this any other way. And if you notice the way the houses are located and they're being positioned, it would be very, very difficult at any other point to split it in any other different direction.
Yeah, it looks to me like you'd have to, you need a major wetland crossing to get to the backside of the property to do anything else.
That's correct.
John, we have Selectman Cunningham in my office, would like to make a statement.
Please do.
Apologize for that, but I tried getting on upstairs for the public comment and I couldn't get in. So I think you might have already answered and addressed the concern I have about no further subdivision in this particular parcel. So that I would withdraw any question at this time.
Okay, well, Ryan, just as a matter of procedure, should we vote on these two items at this point or wait until the public hearing is closed?
That would be during deliberation.
Okay. Well, if there are no other comments, then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Excuse me, if I may, Roz Shivik joined the meeting at 7:10 and Jared had been seated for her. So Roz would now be seated.
So should we get another second on that?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Who was that?
Roz.
Ross, okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the public hearing is closed. We'll move on to Z 2020-1887 of Plainfield Materials LLC, requesting a special permit for a gravel mining operation on property at 143 to 151 Plainfield Pike Road, Plainfield, map 17, block 36, lots 68 and 68A, Industrial 1 zoning district, and map 25, block 36, lot 32, Industrial 2 zoning district.
John, the applicant has requested that we continue this hearing. There were some comments from our engineer, CHA, that they are not prepared to address tonight. However, they do request that we can, do request us to schedule a public hearing if possible at a special date so that they do not have to wait an additional month. We do have an opening, if the commission is acceptable to it, on November 24th at 7:30 p.m. There is a selectmen's meeting at 6:45, so we would have to push it to about 7:30. I don't know how the commission feels about that.
What
I
say
don't
you
have a-
folks?
I don't have a problem with it.
Anyone else? Well, let's put it to a vote then. I'd like a motion to continue this meeting to November 24th, 7:30 in the evening.
So moved.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All in favor?
Hmm?
All in favor?
Any abstentions? All right then, this item is continued to that date and time. Next item, Z 2020-1891 of Sammy P. Inc., requesting a special permit for modification of approved earth products excavation and processing plans for construction of a temporary bridge and haul road between adjacent excavation areas on property located on Millbrook Road, Plainfield, map 10, block 17, lot 5, Industrial 1 zoning district. Who is here to speak for the applicant?
My name is David McKay with Boundaries LLC on behalf of Sammy P. And Sammy is also on the call.
David, I am going to make you the host so that you can present.
Okay, thank you.
Just make sure you give it back to me at the end, please.
Will do.
And you should be all set.
Okay. Is my screen up?
It is.
Okay. All right. So what we have here are the two previously approved excavations. The original excavation along the railroad crossing at Millbrook Road, and then the western excavation across from the Lowe's Distribution Center. What we are proposing and requesting this permit for is to modify these approved plans to construct a temporary haul road and temporary bridge that would connect these two excavation areas. Purpose for that is to allow for the material from one area to be hauled to the other, where a central processing plant will be located, and do that with off-road trucks instead of hauling down Millbrook Road and into the site through the driveway. So that's our overall plan right there. Scoot down here to the site plan so you can see the proposed grades for the excavation here on the eastern side and the excavation here on the western side. That will be a 14-foot wide traffic-bound gravel surface haul road to the temporary bridge crossing the outlet from the wetland area. That bridge will be constructed by placing timber mats on either side to form level abutments for the bridge, and then place that bridge deck on top of those timber mats, then build the road in either direction from there. The bridge is going to have a 20-foot clear span and over 1 foot of freeboard from the bottom of the deck to the 100-year storm elevation. The road grades are shallow 5% into each of the excavations. The temporary haul road's 14 feet wide. It's pitched to drain into a roadside swale. Also have water bars spaced along the road to direct any runoff into sediment traps, which then will treat the runoff before it drains into the wetlands. All our proposed side slopes are 3-to-1, and those will be reinforced with a jute mat. On our second sheet here, we have the profile view of the proposed roads and the temporary bridge. You can see the road is graded in each of the excavations to prevent any runoff from the excavation from getting out. So this is just going to be runoff from the side slopes and the temporary haul road. And here we have the existing channel of the outlet from the wetlands, normal water surface elevation, and then our 100-year storm elevation still within that channel. So you can see that we provide over 1 foot of freeboard, and we have that clear span that doesn't impinge on that storm flow at all. And then showing the timber mats and the decking.
Question on the timber mats, are they going to be stacked?
Yes. Yeah, they'll be stacked alternating in a pattern that'll allow it to be stable.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then the final sheet here, just have the notes and details, which are similar to the narrative from the previously approved permits. We're not proposing any change to operations hours or any changes to the operation or processing itself, just the construction of this road to allow for the material to be hauled to from one side to the other without going down the road. The intent is for this to be temporary, and then at the end of the project, the road surface will be removed, topsoiled, seeded, and the bridge itself will be removed and the wetland area restored. We did have a public hearing with the Wetlands Commission last month, and that was approved at their last meeting. And then just have the details for construction of the temporary sediment traps, which will be located at the base of each of the swales along the haul road. Section for the modified riprap, that'll be the outlets of the sediment traps. Section for our gravel surface for the roadway, the loam and seed restoration, installation of that jute netting, dimensions for our vegetated swale, which will also have the jute netting, and then the erosion controls, wood chip berm at the limited clearing with some areas of sediment fence, and then the water bars that will help direct runoff into the swales and the sediment traps. Any questions?
I understand you're requesting a waiver from the requirement to install monitoring wells.
Yes, that's correct. That's also similar to the excavation approvals that were previously granted. We're not excavating any deeper than the other excavations, and we're keeping the roadway above the water surface elevation of the wetlands. As you can see on the profile, that normal water surface elevation being down here, so substantially above that wetland elevation. So we've requested the waiver from the requirement in the regulations to install monitoring wells to ensure that we're above groundwater with our activity, which we're confident that we are.
Ryan, from the staff report, it looks like groundwater monitoring was previously performed on this site.
Yes, it was prior to the other approvals.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, any questions from commission members or staff?
I have no further comments.
I have a question. A temporary bridge had been proposed once before there and it got turned down. Do we have any detail on that?
I can answer that question. That was on a temporary bridge. That was a proposed Millbrook Road back in 2002, I believe, maybe 2003. And Army Corps and DEP did not allow us to put it through that area due to environmental concerns. Although I can't recall if there was more than just that one area or if it had to do with going through the woods as well.
The amount of disturbance would be a lot greater for a road, correct?
Yes, it would have been a permanent bridge. Will not have restoration at the end of it, obviously. This will be restored back to natural conditions, or as natural as possible, and then the wetlands will take over and it will revegetate.
Is there a wetland restoration plan for that area?
There is.
Yes, we included a construction sequence for the wetland restoration, and that has a specified wetland seed mix and the procedure for removing those timber mats, grading out the disturbed area, and then seeding and mulching the wetland areas. But as far as the activity within the limits of the wetlands goes, it's 1,300 square feet, and it consists of leveling out the area on either side of that channel to place the timber mats, not proposing to do any sort of filling or permanent type of disturbance to that, just to get a level area to put those mats in. And then at the end of the job, pull the mats out, grade it back out, and reseed.
Do we have an idea how long it's going to be like this before they're removed? How many years?
We anticipate 5 years.
I also might mention that when the Wetlands Commission approved their permit, they included the condition that the applicant have a soil scientist review the wetlands restoration plan and make modifications if needed. So they need to get that performed with a report to us prior to any permits being issued.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion regarding this application.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second.
Lindsay?
All in favor of closing
Yeah,
the
that was
public
Lindsay.
hearing?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the public hearing is closed. All right, on to the next item.
David, do I have the host back?
Yes, you do.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you all.
You're welcome. Z 2020-1903 of Deborah Allard requesting a special permit for single-family residence with attached in-law apartment on property located on Canterbury Road, Plainfield, map 3, block 50, lot 30, RA 60 zoning district.
The applicant has requested a continuance until next month as they have to make some modifications to the design.
I'd entertain a motion to continue this to our next meeting,
I'll make a motion to continue it to the next meeting, next month's meeting.
next month's meeting, yeah. All in favor, I'm sorry, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? All right, we will see you in December. All right, next one. Z 2020-1907 San Germano Properties LLC and Joseph San Germano requesting a planned development district for all existing uses and add wholesale business, building material storage and sale, manufacturing of construction and building materials from earth, rock, ore, and minerals, manufacture of products from recycled materials, truck terminal, earth excavation, processing and removal on properties located at 1221 and 1241 Norwich Road, Plainfield, map 5, block 4, lots 42 and 42A in a commercial zoning district. Ryan, what do we have on this?
I believe Damian Sorrentino is going to be presenting. Damian, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to make you the host.
Okay. I've never done this before, so bear with me as I figure out how to be the host.
Okay. I'll walk you through it if you need to. At the end, you do have to give it back to me by going up to my square and clicking on the 3 dots, and you can make me the host in there.
Okay. If I can get to here. And you all see my screen.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I do not.
I don't.
I did.
I don't either.
I don't.
Nope. neither.
So you want to
I
have,
don't.
Damian, you want to have it up in the background, and then at the bottom of your screen, you have share screen, click on that. And then over in the right-hand corner of the screen that pops up, hit share screen again.
That looks right.
Yep,
There you go.
there we go.
Okay. Thanks for bearing with me. My name is Damian Sorrentino. I'm a certified planner and soil scientist from Boundaries LLC. Here this evening representing San Germano Properties LLC and Joseph San Germano. I believe Joseph and Jen are on the call as well. If there are any specific questions related to the uses that we'll discuss, perhaps they could address it. So we are asking for a planned development district designation for 2 properties, 1221 and 1241 Norwich Road. You all on the Planning and Zoning Commission have seen this property, these 2 properties, several times over the years. We got an excavation permit for Sear Construction years ago on 1221 Norwich Road. We got an excavation permit on 1241 Norwich Road, which is the smaller property in this location here. K&H Construction moved their business and equipment sales and service business here. You probably know the property well. There was a site plan approved for that. There is some landscape supply going on there. That was over on, I think it's Potts Road, Rood Road in Plainfield, or Potts Road. I'm sorry, Rood Road and Grizzle, but Potts Road in Plainfield. And some other things that have been implemented on this property. We did a lot line adjustment between 1215 Norwich Road LLC, etc. And most recently you saw, I think David McKay from our office presented an application for this building here, which is now under construction, and a little bit more excavation activity out here. So what we are proposing with our planned development district here, it's a little bit different and more complicated than the one that we saw at the top of the agenda. We have several uses that have been implemented and permitted here, and we're also proposing a few additional uses. Those are summarized in this portion of the plan right here, and I'll read through those. And they're kind of color-coded and called out as to what portions of the property apply to those uses. We understand that we are proposing some uses that are allowed in the Industrial 1 district. Some of them are permitted, some of them are special permit uses. Ryan kind of explained to me that this process is typically done all at once, but we thought it a better approach to first approach the commission with the idea of a planned development district and incorporating some of those industrial uses onto our commercially zoned property, with the understanding that we will be back to properly permit those uses that the applicants choose to move forward with, and have a corresponding site plan for those uses for the commission to review at that time. So the uses that have been already permitted by either the Planning and Zoning Commission or its designated agent, as I mentioned, these are uses in the C1 commercial district. It's a commercial designation, but we do not have sewer or water infrastructure, so we are C1. We're served by on-site water supply and on-site sewage disposal. K&H Construction LLC operates their offices out of this property in accordance with Section 8.2B that has been permitted. The retail component of their business, the power equipment sales and service per Section 8.2C, also has been permitted. The retail landscape supply, again 8.2C. The accessory apartment in the commercial district per Section 1228.2 was issued a special permit, and that accessory apartment does exist in the existing building upstairs. And earth excavation, as I mentioned, there are several earth excavation permits that have been granted on both of these properties that are that remain. So what they're proposing to do, you may have seen it advertised, and K&H recently started what they call a dumpster division. They're going to be having dumpster cans for rental going off-site, bringing processing and disposing of that material in the proper location. So a lot of the proposed uses for the industrial district are kind of related to that use. Trying to categorize that use into the established use schedule for the I-1 district, we've come up with the following. Wholesale businesses and building materials, storage and sale, excluding coal or coke per Section 934I, that is a permitted use. Manufacturing of construction and building products from earth, rock, ore, and minerals, Section 941A. The manufacture of products from recycled materials. Manufacturing shall be the primary operation. Retrieval, separating, and transporting shall be the secondary operations to the manufacturing process. Again, Section 941B by special permit. Bus, truck, and or freight terminals for Section 941E by special permit. There's a little asterisk after that, and you'll notice that note says the truck terminal is the use category proposed for K&H dumpster division. The applicant's intent is not for establishment of any transportation depot, truck stop, shipping terminal, distribution hub, or any other similar type of use. It is for the K&H dumpster division. They have trucks, they go out, they drop cans, they pick them up, they bring them back. In discussions with the zoning enforcement officer, we thought that was the logical category for the K&H dumpster division itself. And then earth excavation, processing, and removal. You'll notice in the commercial district, it's earth excavation, and in the industrial district, the processing is allowed per Section 941L and 1232 by special permit. The ones on the check marks, the permitted, the commercial district uses have already been approved, as I mentioned. So moving over to the kind of the graphic component of this plan, you're familiar where the building is. We have one office use, K&H Construction, the retail for K&H Equipment Sales and Service, and also the accessory apartment. The entirety of the green, that greenish color, is the portion of the property that's essentially utilized by the K&H Construction, K&H Equipment Sales, Rental, Service, etc. They have landscape supply bins on the left side of their parking lot. That's that kind of orangish color. there. They have all of that turquoise type of color, the earth excavation and proposed earth excavation and processing. And then the area here with the red hatch is where they're proposing to implement the truck terminal, which is the K&H dumpster division, the manufacturing of the building products from earth, rock, or minerals, manufacturing of products from recycled materials, and the wholesale businesses, building material storage and sale. Now, without getting into too much of the specifics, because it's not my line of expertise, my understanding is that they will be processing some construction materials. They will be putting cans out and receiving construction materials such as, asphalt, concrete, stone, concrete that may have rebar and such in it. They want to bring those materials that can be made useful again. They want to bring back to this site, separate, process, and create something saleable from those products, essentially recycling certain components of the construction debris that they'll be collecting in these cans. So as I mentioned previously, we're going to have to consider exactly how we're going to do that, how we're going to screen that activity from abutting properties and from the road, how we're going to control noise, dust, traffic, etc. We do intend to come back with specific site plans and pursue special permits for those activities. I did submit today at Ryan's request a summary or a statement to go along with our request, which essentially outlined again those uses that are existing, both existing commercial uses and proposed industrial district uses. As this property is built out, I think just aesthetically, it's working very well. They've done a great job. They keep a great, nice, clean site. Everything that they've done is aesthetically pleasing. And we hope that you will consider our request for the planned development district at this time.
Any questions from the public? Questions or comments from staff?
Seems pretty thorough to me.
Yes, so at this stage in the game, you are simply looking to see if the proposed uses are a possibility in this particular zone. If you decide that, if you vote to approve this, it will be coming back for a much more detailed plan that meets our site plan requirements. And at that point in time, you can decide what is proper for screening. You can also decide if any uses should be excluded because they may be too intrusive to the area. We do not know all those details yet, so obviously it's premature to make that decision.
So Ryan, I understand from what Damien said that they would also be coming back for specific special permits for some of these activities.
Well, that is actually the second step to the planned development district. They have to come in with a full site plan, a very detailed explanation of everything they're going to do, exactly where they're going to do it, how it's going to be performed. And at that point in time, you can make your decision on whether or not it's appropriate for that particular parcel given what's around it.
So just to clarify then, tonight we're just...
You're approving an idea tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, essentially, we didn't want to spend the money on detailed site plans for uses that aren't permitted in the existing C1 commercial zoning district, and secondly, without a solid feeling that the commission believes that the I1 industrial district uses that we have listed here are a good fit and form a cohesive unit with the existing development that exists on the property.
I'm not comfortable with this, given approvals without seeing any type of planning. It just seems crazy. You're talking about doing a recycling yard in here, and we have no idea on how they're going to do that. I just want to make sure that they do not realize they're not getting an approval tonight to proceed other than for planning.
I can comment on that. This is actually required by the Planned Development District per the strict regulations. And so this is the way the process is supposed to work. Most people skip this process, go right to the site plan approval, but it's also for a lot smaller operations. This is the most extensive operation that we have seen for the Plan Development District.
Damien, do you know if any permits would be needed from DEP solid waste for the recycling operation that's proposed?
I do not have knowledge of that process at this time. We will explore that. If it is required, we will pursue them. I don't think this is not going to be a very large volume. I'm not sure if there are, qualifiers on those permit requirements as to, how much waste would need to be processed in order to require a permit. This is not going to be a junkyard. This is not going to be, a transfer station. This is specifically to try to make a useful product out of the materials that K&H Dumpster Division will be collecting from their customers.
And again, you will have full control over that during the next stage.
I have no doubt that K&H will do the right thing as far as doing their best. The problem is this use, once it goes there, it's there forever. K&H could sell and somebody else could take that whole thing over again. I'm concerned about the waste, the recycling end of it. Everything else I can see. I don't necessarily mind a dumpster division coming out of there. I don't like the idea of storage of materials that is waste on site.
The intent is that it'll be very short term. That this won't be, a permanent or semi-permanent stockpile of refuse here. This will be processing of materials and recycling of those materials into another useful product, and prompt disposal of things that cannot be recycled off-site.
And those are details that can be discussed during the next phase of this process and excluded if the commission feels that it's not appropriate.
Or I believe we could make specific conditions on the special permit that would control that. Right?
Yes, you can.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other comments? There are none. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah, Joe.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? All right, public hearing is closed.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to the regular meeting. Ryan gets control of the screen again here.
Damien, you giving it back to me?
Yes. I figured that out quickly.
All right, we'll come to order on the regular meeting. And I believe we have an addition to the agenda.
There are two additions, John. They are both statutory, Connecticut General Statutes 8-24 referrals from the first selectman. The first is for proposed sale of 2 lots in the industrial park, property located at 0 East Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-007, and 0 East Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-012. And also the second 824 referral is for sale of lots in the industrial park, 0 West Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-002, 0 West Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-003, 0 West Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-030, and 1 Center Parkway, Assessors Map 17, Block 11, Lot I-025.
Can we take these both at once, or do we have to do them separately?
I think it would be, I mean, you can consider them at the same time under, for discussion, but when you make motions, I would prefer that they be separate as read, the first referral with the 2 lots, 7 and 12, and the second for the 4 lots, 2, 3, 30, and 25.
Okay, so the first is 7 and 12,
Yeah,
and the other is, again, please.
30 and 25.
Okay. Make a motion to move this onto the agenda?
So moved.
Second? We have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move that on to the tail end of unfinished old business here. So it's
A new business.
or the new business, right? Sorry. All right, let's go into the unfinished old business. Z 2020-1832.
John,
Yep.
you forgot citizen participation.
Oh, I'm sorry. If there are any citizens out there who have a matter they would like to bring before the commission, which is not related to any of these proposed applications, this would be the time to bring it forward. Is there anyone who has anything they'd like to bring forward to us? Okay, hearing nothing, I'd like to continue on with the unfinished old business. We'll go back to Z 2020-1832, the continuation of Riley Rice, Riley Landscaping LLC, requesting a planned development district, residential and commercial for property at 1271 Norwich Road, Plainfield, map 5, block 4, lot 45, RA 60 zoning district. Is there any discussion on this, either from staff or from commission members?
I have suggested conditions of approval that you have before you. If you'd like, I could go over them, or you could read them off yourselves when the time comes.
Perhaps we should just have them read into the meeting.
Okay, I will. John, would you like to do that, or would you like me to?
Please go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. So under suggested conditions of approval, the storage units are limited to contractor storage because self-storage, otherwise known as mini storage, has additional requirements that these plans do not meet. No outside storage of vehicles, equipment, or materials, with the exception of mulch or similar landscaping materials in the designated storage bins that are in the rear of the property. No bulk storage of flammable or hazardous liquids. All unregistered vehicles and parts that are currently located behind the building or were located behind the building are to be removed prior to receiving a CO and use and compliance permit. The site is to be completed per the approved site plan prior to receiving a CO and use and compliance permit. The CO and use compliance permit is required to begin business operations and renting out units. Applicant, we must receive some sort of confirmation from DOT that they have no objections to the proposed uses.
Okay. Any discussions or deliberations from commission members?
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the conditions that were just read.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Yep, I'll second that.
Just a second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Did Roz oppose it?
No. The motion carries. The application is approved.
I'm sorry, John, was it all in favor?
Yeah, well, I didn't hear any abstentions and I didn't hear any objections.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
All right, moving on. Z 2020-1886 of Ellis Sage and Jeff Bellavance requesting a 2-lot re-subdivision for construction of 2 single-family houses on property located on Mortimer Road, Moosup, map 30, block 109, lot 23, RA 60 zoning district. Ryan, your comments?
Okay, so all of my comments have been addressed. The commission must discuss and vote on the proposed 3% fee in lieu of, or any form of a fee that you wish to impose up to 10%. That would be 10%, up to 10% of the $100,000. So the applicant has requested 3% or $3,000. The town planner has proposed 5% or $5,000, which would be $2,500 per lot at the time of transfer. So that must be discussed. You also have to discuss the exemption from the conservation subdivision requirements that they are requesting, and you must vote on that matter as well.
All right, well, first thing first, let's take up the matter of the fee in lieu of. Applicant is proposing 3,000, town is recommending 5,000. That's split between the 2 lots. Any discussion from the commission members on this?
I think the 5,000 is a good deal.
The representative also said that the 5% shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Would you like a motion now on that one?
I think so, yes.
I'll make a motion to do a 5% fee in lieu of open spaces, which would be $5,000 or $2,500 per lot, with taking into account the $100,000 appraisal cost.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion regarding the fee in lieu of $5,000 passes. And we'll now take on the request for exemption from the conservation subdivision requirements.
I'd like to make a motion to issue an exemption from the conservation subdivision.
Do I have a second?
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the waiver from the subdivision, conservation subdivision requirements passes. Now I would like a motion regarding approval of the project itself.
Would you like me to go over the suggested conditions?
Yes, please.
Okay. An additional note to the plans, note number 14, is to be added to the site development plan sheet 4A and 4B, stating that the wells shall be drilled and tested for water quality and quantity prior to being approved for a building permit, and Mylar shall be recorded in the clerk's office prior to receiving a zoning permit.
Additional condition, if I could suggest, a restriction shall be placed on the deeds that neither lot may be further subdivided.
Oh, and one more on my end. The Mylar shall state the $5,000 open space fee divided up between the two lots at $2,500 per lot at the time of transfer.
Okay. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve with those conditions as read.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion is approved.
Thank you very much.
The next item was continued. So we move on to Z 2020-1891 of Sammy P. Requesting a special permit for modification of approved earth products excavation and processing for construction of a temporary bridge in Hall Road between adjacent excavations on property on Millbrook Road, Plainfield, map 10, block 17, lot 5, Industrial 1 zoning district. Ryan, I believe you may have had some conditions on, a fair number of conditions on this one.
I do, bear with me, I'm just looking through my notes. Okay.
Should we do the waiver first for the groundwater monitoring?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I'd like a motion regarding the waiver of the groundwater monitoring requirement.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the waiver for the groundwater monitoring as it's already been done recently.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, the motion to grant the waiver for groundwater monitoring is approved.
Okay, ready for conditions?
Yep, please go ahead.
All right. As with the previous approvals, all truck traffic to utilize Millbrook Road to Norwich Road, Route 12. No use of town of Plainfield roads aside from Millbrook Road is allowed unless there is no state road alternative to make a delivery within the town. The E&S restoration bond of $27,996.84 is to be submitted to the town prior to the zoning permit being issued and held until site completion to staff satisfaction. Plans to be printed on Mylar film and submitted to Planning and Zoning Office for commission signatures. Applicant is responsible for filing the Mylars with the town clerk. Engineering fees, which are to be determined, shall be paid prior to filing Mylars. the boundary monument at Station 14 to be reset at the completion of restoration. The boundary monument for the town of Plainfield, Gluck, and Tilcon properties to be reset at completion of restoration if it is disturbed. And I have one more. Give me a second, I need to find it. Staff is to be notified prior to installation of the bridge so that we can make an inspection and go over the conditions of approval. And that should take care of it.
Excuse me, I have something here about proposed hours. Are those included in this proposed hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? Monday through Saturday? That's also included?
Those are on the plan. They will be part of the approval as part of the site plan. That is in conformance with the other approvals for this property.
Okay, thank you.
Ryan, is the 27,000 enough money for a restoration bond, you feel?
Yes, it is. They resubmitted the bond amount to include the restoration.
And I'm assuming that they've gotten permission from the abutting property owners because I see that it looks like it's kind of crossing over the property lines.
Mark Gluck is also a co-applicant.
And we do have wetlands approval, correct, you said?
We have wetlands approval.
It makes sense. It gets those trucks off the road. It's probably safer for our residents in that area.
It does, and one of the reasons why they want this is because they're going to be using quarry-style trucks, which cannot be going over the road. So this temporary bridge would allow them to move about the property from side to side.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve it with those conditions that Ryan read.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, the motion carries and the application is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next two items, E and F. E was continued till December, and I understand F requires inland wetlands approval, so we will need to continue Z 2020-1902 of Exeter Group to our next regular meeting. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to continue those two to the next month's meeting.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposition or abstentions? Okay, the application will be continued to our December meeting. All right, next, Z 2020-1907 of San Germano Properties LLC and Joseph San Germano requesting a planned development district for all existing uses, add wholesale business, building materials storage and sale, manufacturing of construction and building materials from earth, rock, ore, and minerals, manufacture of products from recycled materials, truck terminal earth excavation, processing, and removal on properties located at 1221 and 1241 Norwich Road, Plainfield, Map 5, Block 4, Lots 42 and 42A Commercial Zoning District. Ryan, any comments or conditions on this from your end?
No, not for this portion.
Okay, so just to clarify this, what we're voting on here is a plan for what could be done conceptually on this property, but those individual uses would require, many of them would require an actual special permit before they could go forward.
More or less, yes. Any of the uses that have been presented to you tonight have to come back in the form of a public hearing with a full site plan, full details about how they will be performed, where they'll be performed. Basically, you are approving an idea tonight, and the actual plans will come before you in the future, and you will have full control over what is approved at that time.
Okay, before we make a motion on this, is there any discussion from the commission? In that case, I would entertain a motion regarding this, this application.
I got one question before we do that. This plan development district, does this go with the property, or will it expire if it's not acted on in so much time or anything like that?
Well, plans expire after 5 years. So if it is not fully approved and completed within 5 years' time, then it expires.
I'm all set.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the plan.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
So I heard one person in favor, one abstention. I'll vote in favor. Anyone else?
I'm in favor.
Okay. Then I believe the motion carries. And
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
we will hear from you later, I expect. Okay, we have Z 2020-1908 of KA&G Development LLC requesting a 7-lot subdivision on property on Sterling Hill Road, Moosup, map 23, block 58, lot 11, RA 40 zoning district.
Thank you, John. For the record, David Held, I'm a professional engineer and land surveyor with Provost and Rivero on behalf of KA&G Development LLC. I don't know if Ryan wants to make me the host here so I can share screens here.
You should be the host now.
Okay. All right, is everybody able to see the plan here?
It's still coming up on my end.
I've got it.
Okay, so this property is located in the RA 40 zoning district. This is the property that was the subject of a zone change application a couple months ago, which the commission approved to change this property from RA 19 to the RA 40 district. You can see that the property has frontage on Sterling Hill Road here at the top of the plan, which is the north side of the property. Also on the southerly side, there's frontage along Northern Drive and some frontage along Gendron Road here. So we're proposing to divide this property into 7 residential building lots. Lots range in size from 42,000 square feet, which is just under an acre, to about 11.5 acres in size. Lots 1 through 6, which are these up here, accessed off of Sterling Hill Road, will be served by on-site wells and septic systems. Lot 7 over here fronting on Gendron Road will be served by an on-site well, but will be connected to the public sanitary source system, which is located in Gendron Road. The project has been approved by both the WPCA for that Lot 7 sewer connection, as well as NDDH for the septic systems and wells as shown in the conceptual site development plans. Additionally, this project was approved by the Wetlands Commission by a jurisdictional ruling because we're not proposing any regulated activities. You'll notice here that Econk Brook runs through the property from the southeast corner toward the northwest here, crossing under Sterling Hill Road here. You'll note that we've shown this crosshatched area here, which will be open space areas comprising portions of Lot 2 here, Lot 6 here, and Lot 7 here. And you can see over in this table, we've tabulated the total open space. We're proposing over 30% of the property to be deed restricted as open space. That's in excess of the 20% land requirement within the subdivision regulations, but given that the Econk Brook corridor is something worthy of conserving, we chose to conserve the entire wetland corridor associated with the brook. There are a couple of other things going on here. You'll note here up on Sterling Hill Road, adjacent to the Bono property, we're actually proposing to deed a portion of the subject property to the Bonos, where they've been maintaining some yard and garden areas over the years. So it doesn't really affect anything with the project. Still, we're actually just going to be deeding that land over to them and taking care of an encroachment potential issue there. We have provided draft quitclaim deeds to your planning staff to move the proposed street line back 25 feet from the existing center line, so the town would be acquiring additional road right-of-way in the event that future road improvements are ever required. So we would be deeding to the town all the land between the proposed street line and the existing center line of the roads. Other than that, sheets 3 and 4 show conceptual lot developments here. You can see we've got one shared driveway here for 2 rear lots, which would be lots 3 and 4. Other than that, each lot will have its own driveway access. Again, you'll note wetland areas here on lot 6. And moving to the second site plan, wetland areas on lot 2 and lot 7 also associated with the Econk Brook corridor. And again, we have no regulated activities proposed next to those wetlands. We've also included a property history map just detailing what this property has looked like since the inception of the town subdivision regulations. This property has never been the subject of a prior subdivision, so hence it is a subdivision and not a re-subdivision application, and that's summarized in this table here. So I believe that we've addressed all of the staff comments. Again, we do have approval from the Wetlands Commission, we have approval from NDDH, and we have approval from the town's WPCA for the one lot that will be connected to sewer. So I believe there's no outstanding issues with this project.
Ryan, I see you have some comments.
I do. All my comments have been addressed. I do have some suggested conditions of approval. Does the commission would like to hear them now?
Yes.
Okay. So the council shall approve, town council shall approve the deed language for the dedication of the property that Dave was speaking about, 25 feet from the center line of the road. That has been presented to council. They are reviewing it now. So that could be a condition that, the council approves that. The approved deeds shall be filed along with the Mylars, and fees for council review, which are to be determined, shall be paid prior to filing the Mylars, and the Mylars must be filed with the town clerk's office.
And if I could add one more condition, the open space declaration of permanent restrictions and covenants shall be filed on the land records.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion from commission members?
This one also went and saw the Conservation Commission. It got a favorable review, correct?
Yes, it did.
And also the selectmen?
The selectman was at the Conservation Commission meeting. So he could speak to that.
I'm sorry, the question was again?
Selectman, opinion on the proposed open space dedication.
I'm sorry, I stepped out of the room for a minute. This is on the seven lot subdivision.
Yes.
I think that the proposal was fine for open space, so I had no problem with what was being proposed. I'll look here, I don't have access to that. This was where the property ran with the open space, supporting open space around that river bend.
Conk Brook.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I see no problem with the open space as proposed.
In that case, there's no other comments. I'd entertain a motion on this application. Or should I say site plan review?
I'll make an
Subdivision.
motion to approve.
Subdivision.
Yeah. Did I hear a second there?
We do not get a second. Sean Peterson, motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining?
Just for clarification, approve with those conditions?
Approved.
I'm sorry, correct, with those conditions.
Okay. Under new business, we have the matter in the industrial park, the sale of the lots.
First, John, there's an A, Z 2020-1913.
Okay, yeah, we can do that one first. That's of Shenane Incorporated, if I pronounced that right. Requesting a site plan review modification for approved Z 2020-1803 to add a standalone diesel pump on property located at 309 Putnam Road, Warregan, map 17, block 79, lot 8A, C2 zoning district.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha. I'm from Shahani Inc. So we were here a couple months ago in regards to Warregan's tank removal and replacement along with the building construction. Do you want me to pull up, Ryan, the site plan, or
Yes.
either way?
Do you have it on your computer?
Yeah, I have it on my computer, and these are the ones that I emailed you earlier today with the modifications that you requested.
Those actually came in after close, and I have not had the ability to
Okay.
review them yet, so I'm going to make you the host.
Okay.
Just make sure you give it back to me.
Okay.
And you should be the host now.
Okay. Can everyone see it?
It's coming up now.
A little bit bigger. Okay. So currently everything is staying the same. The only thing that we're adding is right here, a single diesel pump. It's going to be a 1+0 pump, so it'll only have one nozzle, only for diesel. This is a new proposed area light, and Ryan, I believe you requested this little edge right here, so we proposed it out. And it will be grass right here and no canopy above the diesel, so there will be no height restriction for any trucks or any like RV or anyone who wants to get diesel right here. And that's basically it. There's nothing else that's being changed or adjusted here.
Aisha, if you could bring us over to the left,
Sure.
over to the edge where you have the proposed container.
Right here?
Keep going. Keep going over to the left. Okay, so this is also a plan, modification to the original plan. In the upper left corner, you can see that the container has been moved over there. It was located proposed behind the building, and also the dumpster has been moved slightly to the right. I have no issues where the dumpster is proposed. It is shown to be surrounded by the wood fence enclosure. It looks like there is fencing now around the container.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, 8-foot high fence. All right, that should be adequate. And the other comment that I had was, is there a lighting diagram for the new proposed light?
Yes, let me pull it up. Right here. I believe you asked for this. I'll make it. It's going to be a double area light. So it'll be one pole with two sides of light.
Okay. Do we have a maximum height on that?
Yes, I believe it is right here. I think it's about, let me make sure. Yeah, I think yes, it should be about 14 feet.
Okay, that is acceptable. We allow up to 20 feet.
Yeah, I was about to say you allow up to 20 feet.
So it is a proposed full cutoff, I believe. All right. So I have no further comments. We do need to get hard copies of the plans for our records. That can be a condition of approval. Those are all the comments that I have.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Any comments or questions from commission members?
I see some conditions on here from Ryan. Are those still in effect?
Let me just go over those. Hold on a second.
I assume with the screening going up, the storage container is a permanent fixture?
Yes.
Aisha, is that a fence around that?
Yes. So right here, it's a fence around it, and you're asking in front, correct? Around here, there's also a fence.
Okay, is that wooden? Is that vinyl?
Wooden fence. Everything will be, yeah, it'll be wooden fence. Everything will be flush.
Okay.
Very clean.
All right.
I also had a side note question. If we wanted to, like in this area, if we wanted to thin out the trees, is that a separate approval or is that okay to do while we're doing our project?
Well, the area that you currently have your cursor is owned by the state, so you'll have to get permission from them.
Okay, got it.
But we have nothing to say about removing the vegetation in there.
Okay.
I don't believe are there wetlands in there? Okay, if there are wetlands in there.
No, there's no, oh, sorry, I thought you were telling me I don't believe. There's no wetlands on this site at all, no.
Okay, provided there's no wetlands, then we have no authority over removal of the vegetation, but the state will have to approve that within their right of way.
Okay, got it.
Were the proposed picnic tables on the other plan, when they first came through?
They were.
Okay. Any other questions? If there are none, I would entertain a motion on this application.
I think we were waiting on Ryan's conditions.
Oh, okay.
So the suggested conditions I have, as this is a modification of a site plan approval, Z 2020-1878, which was approved earlier this year. That approval, the 1878, will control, with the exception of the proposed diesel pump and relocation of the storage container and dumpster pad. So all of the conditions still apply as per Z 2020-1878. The storage container will be screened with a privacy fence tall enough to screen it. I think that should take care of it.
I'll make a motion to approve the site plan with the conditions that Ryan just read.
Oh, two more conditions, I'm sorry. The Mylars are, Mylars are to be filed in the town clerk's office, and hard copies of these plans that we see tonight are to be submitted prior to filing the Mylars. Zoning permits shall not be issued until that is taken care of.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve with all the conditions that Ryan has stated.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, the application is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now let's
Hold on, Aisha, can you please hand me back the, okay, excellent, thank you.
let's take up the matter of those lots in the industrial park. I don't have anything that I can access in writing in front of me to accurately describe that, Ryan. I don't know if you have a more detailed description of.
I actually do not, Mary Ann does.
Okay.
Mary Ann, are you there?
Sorry. The first one is for lots 7 and 12 on East Parkway. The town was approached. We've had these listed for sale for quite a while, initially with Spalding Realty, and subsequently we shifted to Lyman Real Estate, and they have been working so diligently to sell the remaining lots in the industrial park. And these two lots, Edgewater Construction has put in offers for these lots. They will be developing spec warehousing, light industrial use on one of the properties, and contractor condo type thing on the second lot. And it's been through the Board of Selectmen last night and Board of Finance for their approvals, and pending a favorable recommendation from this commission. The public hearing for sale of the lots will be November 24th at 6:45 town meeting. If this commission does not forward a favorable recommendation, other than a simple majority, a 2/3 majority of those present at town meeting would be required to approve the sale.
Okay. Any discussion among commission members, or would anyone like to make a motion recommending this, the sale?
All we're doing is motioning to recommend a sale, not for the buildings, correct?
Correct. This is specifically for the commission's recommendation on the town selling those two lots.
I make a motion to recommend the sale.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Recommendation is approved.
Very much.
Now we have 2 more lots as well, right?
We have 4 lots, actually. There are 3 lots on West Parkway, Lot 2, Lot 3, and Lot 30, and Lot 25 at 1 Center Parkway. We have an interested buyer for lots 2 and 3, which will be sold and combined into 1 lot because 2, in accordance with the Army Corps permit and requirements at the time, back in the day when the property was subdivided, that lot is considered not buildable. So that lot is going to be combined with Lot 3. And the developer is also potentially interested in purchasing 30 and 25 as well. And this developer for lots 2 and 3, he's looking for an early December close.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion then on recommendation to sell these lots.
Well, are we doing that, or are we just moving it forward to give them approval for the future? Because these might not go through, right? We don't have a contract on them yet.
Not yet, but what we're looking for here is a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission for sale of the properties. And I mean, that's what the industrial park was created for, so it makes sense to have these are the remaining lots in the I-Park that are available that are town-owned. And as opposed to having to come back to the commission each time a potential sale could happen for a recommendation, it makes more sense to address it all at once.
Didn't we do this a couple years ago too for Kathy to do it?
That was lot 24, yeah.
I think that was denied.
Oh, that was approved.
To sell all these properties all at one time?
No, not all these properties, for lot 24.
But that was a request.
That was 2 years ago.
We had that, okay. It was a request to us.
Yep, 2 years ago.
Now, let me understand this. You're asking to sell, we're going to make an approval to sell these lots, but there's nobody necessarily there that's buying them? Is this another carte blanche to just sell?
We've got a definite, we're getting ready we're reviewing the draft contract right now for lots 2 and 3. And this buyer wants to close early December. He's also looking at purchase of lots 30 and 25. Are those pretty certain that he will buy? I'm confident, but that doesn't mean for sure. But the purpose of the industrial park and creation of the park was the town to sell lots to developers to bring businesses into town. So like I said, as opposed to coming back each time, and we'd only have lots 30 and 25 remaining after 2 and 3 get purchased. So as opposed to having to come back to the commission each time a sale is proposed, it makes more sense, seeing that this was the reason the park was created, to address it all at once. Each development, when something is proposed, that would be required to come back to the commission. This is just looking for a recommendation for the town to sell the properties.
Yeah, I do believe this came through a couple years ago when we turned it down.
Yeah, we did.
Do you currently have a contract on 2 and 3?
It's drafted right now. The attorney's giving his final revisions.
So that
it hasn't been signed yet.
So that looks like a potential sale, definitely,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
and this buyer is looking to close by December 4th.
Okay, I understand that, but what is wrong with just ruling on this one and then come back again when the others have the same criteria?
That's up to the commission. I just proposed this as a time-saving measure.
What did the Board of Finance do? Did they recommend on all these at once?
They did.
I mean, you know,
Sure, I thought they only discussed the lots 7 and 12.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Lots 7 and 12 were addressed last night at the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance meetings. And this one was not ready at that time to be added to that agenda. So this will be coming up again in the near future. As soon as this commission makes a decision and a recommendation on this, the first selectman will be scheduling potentially a special meeting to make a recommendation to the Board of Finance and schedule a public town meeting.
Is this at the point where you can discuss what the sale price on 2 and 3 is?
Yes, we
No,
can. Kevin, do you want to speak to that?
Well, the contract in hand right now states, if you can hear me, the contract in hand right now states it's $55,000.
For the 2 lots?
Yes, because one of them is majority of its wetlands and value is not
Okay.
monetary, it's more of the spacing. And that's what we're trying to also combine the 2 lots together, and we're working with the person to purchase to make sure that is readdressed as a single lot. And we're going to share the cost for that to be done.
What's the value of those lots?
Well, we're looking at 2 ways to talk about value. The value that we're looking at is what the Lyman has gone out to do comps with, as we spoke about last night. Lyman comps, I also had the tax assessor in today with me talking about that, and it's only like $5,000 difference from what they would be for assessed in her mind. So $55,000 was what the offer was, and there are no other offers at this time.
What was it listed for?
Separately, we talked about separately. We're looking at 60 according to the tax assessor.
That's what they were advertised for, sale for?
Well, I'm not sure what Lyman put them out for. I know what the offer came in at.
They were advertised by Lyman for $59,000 combined. Because lot 2 is unbuildable.
Okay, and you got an offer for 50. I'd like to make a motion to allow you to move forward with lot 2 and 3.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
To be clear, that did not include lot 30 or 25.
Which I'll probably be back with the next meeting.
All right.
We're going to be meeting again. We're going to be meeting again on the 24th of November. So.
Right.
Yes.
That might help.
That is a special meeting, so you would have to add this to the agenda if you would like that.
Yeah, before posting the agenda.
Is that the commission's desire?
I think we can do that.
Right.
Do you feel that it'll be ready by then, Kevin, for those 2 lots?
I do. I'm going to be working with Lyman on Thursday to talk about that.
So do you need a motion or something to add that to the agenda?
No, that doesn't need a motion.
Okay, so we have a approved recommendation to sell lots 2 and 3. And the other lots are going to be added to the agenda for the November 24th special meeting. All right, if we're done with that, we can move on to review and act on the minutes from October 13th meeting. Anyone have any additions, deletions, questions regarding those minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any correspondence?
I have no correspondence. Marianne, do you?
No, nothing.
Anything under other?
Nothing on my end.
Report from zoning enforcement.
Okay. We still have,
Chickens are on there again.
what's that?
So the chickens are on there again.
We always have chickens on this report. 681 Norwich Road is still on here, S&P Ventures. That is the corner of Norwich Road and 5th Street. They are not in compliance with the approved site plan, and I will be sending out a notice of violation shortly. 35 Squaw Rock, Jackson residents, excessive chickens. They are down to 91 chickens. They have to get down to about 87. 14 Canterbury Road, Mitchell Bolio. Junk in vehicles on the property. I am preparing to send them a notice of violation regarding that. 3244 Norwich Road, Suite LLC. This still has to go to the town attorney to be presented to the courts. The building inspector did take further action against them a few weeks back, and we are waiting on a status update on that. 39 Lily Bridge Road, the Moran residents for unregistered vehicles and parts. They are working to complete removing those. 211 Kate Downing Road, the Mackin property, construction equipment. That is another one that is being prepared for court. Lawrence Satrell and Carol Cloissy, 16 Old Putnam Road Extension, 2 illegal apartments, 1 in the house, 1 in the garage. We actually made an inspection yesterday on that, and they have both been removed, so this violation is closed. I'll remove it for the next month. 13 Simmons Ave, Doug Driscoll, motor vehicle junkyard. He came in last week and has removed 11 vehicles. Still has some more to go, but he's making progress. 2 South Pine Street, Rosemary Belling. Commercial trucks and fuel cell on the property. That is, well, a notice of violation was sent out October 20th, given 30 days to remove the trucks. The fuel cells have been removed. An appeal has been submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals, so the violation has stayed until ZBA renders a decision. Lot 14A High Street, Corson. This is part of the Stonehouse Drive subdivision. So there was an existing garage on this particular parcel that was there long before the subdivision was created. When the property lines were drawn, the garage meets the setbacks for an accessory structure. The problem is Mr. Corson began converting the garage to a dwelling without permits. He was stopped. The issue is that a dwelling must have 40-foot side yard setbacks. I believe it's 40. I'd have to check the conservation. In any case, the location of the garage does not meet the requirements for setbacks for a dwelling. So it looks like he's going to be applying for a variance. I don't know if he will be successful. If he is not, then it cannot become a dwelling. But as the notice of violation was simply for work without permits, work has now stopped as far as I'm aware. And in that case, the violation stands. However, it doesn't have to go any further as long as no more work is performed. 0 Norwich Road, intersection of Norwich Road and Rood Road. These are the fields, the Rood fields. There appears to be an unpermitted earth excavation operation. It was observed numerous triaxle trucks going in and out. You can see a large pile of gravel from the road. I did send out a letter requesting that the owner, Donald Rood, contact me within 5 days, and he has not, so a notice of violation will be going out. 200 Starkweather Road. I cannot pronounce the name. I'm not going to try. There is a shed or garage out behind the house, and it looks like that it may have been converted to some sort of finished space or living space on the second story. Possibly a cesspool has been installed behind the building. The health department has been notified. I sent out a letter on October 28th requesting them to contact me for inspection within 5 days, and they have not, so a notice of violation will be going out to them. 398 Green Hollow Road, Kelly and Robert Crodio. We received 2 complaints pertaining to chickens and ducks that are leaving their property and entering other people's properties. So they were sent a letter on November 5th to contain the fowl to their property. 4 Windsor Ave, David Cannon and Georgiana Gagliardo. They have ducks in an RA30 zone, which is not allowed, and neighbors were complaining about odors and flies. So I sent a letter out November 5th for them to rehome those ducks within 60 days. And we have 1 miscellaneous item that came in as an anonymous complaint. So a letter was received pertaining to 173 Snake Meadow Road, which is across the street from Harris Drive. And the complaint stated that the property was recently purchased, which has not yet shown up in our records. The letter claims that the property has been subdivided or divided without proper acreage to do so. It is too small to be divided. We have nothing in the records that shows that it was divided. The complainant also spoke of old buried tires and junk being excavated and disposed of without environmental testing being performed. This is not a zoning issue. I also do not know of any requirements for DEP to have testing done when you're removing solid waste of that type and disposing of it. So I cannot contact the person because it was an anonymous letter, so it's just FYI that we received it.
And Ryan, how about the shed operation? Has that been resolved?
That was on here earlier. That does have to go to the attorney. The building inspector started taking action a few weeks ago. We're waiting on a status update from that.
Yeah, that one sounds like it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Very much so. They now have illegal apartments inside of it. Campers on the property that apparently are occupied. Yeah, it's completely out of hand.
Okay, well, keep going.
I can give a little bit of an update if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. There were letters, registered letters sent out to both the owner and the tenant. The owner of the property has received his letter. The tenant has not, so we're going to hand deliver with the police officer on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Ryan, I got a question.
Sure.
I understand you have an anonymous complaint at 173 Snake Meadow, but then you can't act on that because they won't say who they are. Will you be driving by that property and looking or anything, or it just goes away?
There's really nothing to act on. It's not a zoning issue. We have nothing in the land records that indicate that the property has been divided. And like I said, the removal of solid waste that's been buried years ago is not a zoning issue.
What issue is it?
I'm not sure it's an issue at all. DEP might have something to say, but I don't think that they would complain about somebody removing tires and other junk that have been buried on a property.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
guess as long as it's leaving, it's probably fine. But
That's right up the road from me, so I'll keep an eye on it, Ryan.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Mary Ann, do you have anything?
Just a little addition to my update that I sent members on November 4th about the pending litigation. The Zoning Board of Appeals attorney is preparing and will be filing with the court a withdrawal of the Zoning Board of Appeals petition for certification for the appellate court to hear an appeal of the Superior Court's decision. So the Superior Court's decision will stand.
What was that again?
The Zoning Board of Appeals attorney is preparing,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I mean, what was the Superior Court's decision?
the Superior Court's decision was in favor of the Planning and Zoning Commission. It upheld the Planning and Zoning Commission's appeal, and that vacated the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for the Sammy P development at 495 Norwich Road.
Okay, that must have been a meeting I missed. Thank you.
Yeah, it was quite a win. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, well, I'll see you all on the 24th, huh?
Yep.
All right,
Night, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.
have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.